All right, I got the kitchen that I built for the back of this thing out of it, and I took the tailgate off. So I'm gonna leave the topper on. No point in removing that. It's not that heavy. Hopefully I can still get to the supports to pull this off. We'll see. I might have to take a. It just comes off with some clips. I may have to take it off. We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, so that's where I'm at. We'll unbolt the bed. To take it off, there is 8 bolts underneath, really easy to get to, and then a couple of plugs to unplug the, just a couple things to unplug. That's it. So get working on that. Alright, so I got the tail lights disconnected. I still got one more wire. I put power back to the back of the truck. I need to cut that wire. Tail lights are unplugged. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the bumper. I shouldn't have to, but if I do, I guess I will. All the bolts are really easy to get to. I'm glad I've got a air impact wrench because they were Loctited and torqued pretty tight. But the bed itself doesn't feel too heavy. What I'm gonna do is, so I have this old carport frame here from years ago. The tent, of course, is pretty much rotted in the sun, but I still have the frame here because I had this idea of maybe covering it in metal, making a carport. But the frame seems to be strong enough to support my weight, so we're going to back the truck under it. And I got some ratchet straps I'm going to hook to the tie-down points in the bed, and hopefully I can just lift it right up off the truck pretty easily. So that's it. That's next. I need to get it higher, and I'm getting a little nervous about this this support thing. I'm not sure if I'm catching on something or what, but I'm starting to feel like it's I'm just nervous about it bending, but we'll see. Let's see what we got going on underneath. I'm scared to go any higher with it. Stuff's starting to really creak. I still need to get it higher to get it up off there. But I have an idea. I think I can now run some 2x4s right underneath the bed there. And then probably reposition the ratchet straps around the 2x4s and lift those up. That way I can put the ratchet straps closer to this end here where it'll get a little more support. And that should work, I think. I'm just getting nervous. So if I don't have any scrap 2x4s, I'm going to have to run to the store. But I think I do in the backyard. I'm going to go look. I've got them repositioned under the wheel wells here. So I'm going to remove the straps, see if I can get under them. If I can, should be able to get this lifted up. So let's give it a try. All right, I got the bed off. A little nervous just leaving that hanging there. I think I'm gonna need to. I might go buy some 2x4s and build some sort of a stand for underneath it. Yeah, I just don't want it crashing down because I don't want it damaged. So anyway, at least the bed's off. Now I can start working on getting the flatbed lined up. All right, I'll show you this here. So I've got all of these mounts all the way along the rail here are at different heights. So every mount has to be different. I'm pretty sure the rail is level. I've got all of them cut, but they're not perfect. So I'm gonna have to tweak them a little bit. But right now what I got, these two mounts are on the outside of the rail. So I've got these here, they'll mount here, there'll be a bolt up through here, and then, is it this one? I think it was this one. We'll weld right on top just like that, and the rail goes across the top. Same with this one here. The other two are just straight. You see these other two, they're just right on the rail, so I just have these here. I'm gonna weld these two pieces together, and then I'll put a plate on the back side to keep this from folding to help support it, and that'll give me a nice area to bolt right there. So that's these pieces here, and then I've got the long rails that haven't been cut. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and the front and the back I think are right where I want them to be. They're both the same on both sides, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those drilled, welded, and then I can work on getting the top rails where I want them. And then the center supports, I'll worry about those at a later date. Like I say, they're a little bit off. They're not quite level with the other two. So we'll put those in last after we get the rest of it done. So. Oh, all right. So I got a little shop light out here, kind of see if I can get enough light going on here. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. I'll test fit it up. It's gonna look really good. Those are the fenders I picked out for it. I like kind of the rounded retro look. I'm gonna have to figure out the filler. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. A loud bird out here. But yeah, so that's basically what it's gonna look like. Here's one of the mounts. I've got it all. Yeah, I got that all tacked together. Here's the front mounts. I have those tacked together. They're just clamped on for now. I don't have them bolted. So we'll get all the rest of the mounts done eventually. But that's where we're at right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tack on the support rails to the bed. I'm just going to do a couple of small tacks because I got to get everything measured perfect, and so I expect to have to break it apart a few times. But I'm going to just get a couple tacks to kind of hold it into place, and yeah, that way I can try to get this bed positioned tonight, and then I might even start building the header or the headache board. Not sure, but let's get the tacking done first. Alright, so alright, 4 tacks, that's all I'm going to do. That's easy to grind off, break off if I need to make some changes. But now we'll do the other side. Don't need to watch that. So I've got the front mount here, and then I have one in the back there, and then there's 2 more mounts across here. Now, when I pulled the bed off, now when you take your truck bed off, you really got to pay attention to how it was put on. If you have isolation bushings, the little rubber bushings between your frame and your truck bed, then the frame's probably stiff enough, and so it wasn't engineered for the bed to stiffen the frame. This one, I didn't have isolation bushings. The bed is bolted tight against the frame. So that tells me that the bed is actually stiffens the frame. It was designed that way to kind of stiffen the frame. So I don't want any isolation bushings between the new flatbed and the frame. It's going to be bolted directly to the frame, but it does sit up from the frame, I don't know, 6 inches or so from the frame. So I'm not getting that direct stiffening right across the frame like the original bed had. It's up higher, so I'm going to get a little torque here. So what I'm doing here is I took this piece of steel here, scrap steel I had laying around, and this piece here is actually going to get mounted all the way across the frame. So that's how the truck, show you this. This piece down here, I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can see it. I moved the camera so you hopefully can see it. This piece here is going to go all the way across the frame. I may put another one right here the same way. I haven't decided for sure. But this puts the stiffening right down at the frame, right near. The reason I want to put one on the back, I think, is because I got the shock mounts. So this should stiffen it up so it's not reliant on the upper part of the frame to do it. So this here is across here, so then I got to take these here. They'll get well cut. They're not quite the right height. They're going to get cut, welded in here, and yeah, so that'll stiffen the frame up. And yeah, so I think I should do another one just to make extra sure that my frame is properly stiffened. Okay, I spent way too much time trying to get this this deck centered. I was trying to center it on the cab, and then I realized what I should be trying to center it on is the frame itself, because the cab I think is a little bit crooked. But show you what I've done. So right here, I put this here piece. It goes all the way across, and then it has these uprights here, right here, to support the deck, to lift the deck up a little bit. So I've got that on the front, and that'll help stiffen the frame, like I was saying. And then I put one back here. Now this one here is a 1x2 rather than a 2x2. That's because I'm trying to maximize the space here, because I plan on putting a drawer back here. So I went with a 1x2 because that'll give me plenty of stiffening on the frame and still gives me an extra inch of clearance back here. But again, I have these supports going down to it, and that's what's supporting the frame sitting on. Part of what's so difficult about this is that every mounting point on the frame is a different height, except for these two back here. These two were the same, so I was able to kind of level everything up front using those two. But yeah, so what I'm working on now is I'm trying to get this headache board started. It's basically just a bar. Show you this. So I've got this piece here where I want it. So I need to figure out the angle to go over the top, and then it's going to go over the top of the truck there and come down on the other side. So we'll get working on that. I think they call it, I think I'm going to realize they call it a headache board because it's going to be a real headache to try to get all those angles right.